created us. Allah wants us to learn from His own attribute. The hadith says, تَخَلَّقُوا بِأَخْلَاقِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. Learn from His akhlaq, His manners, His attributes, His gifts. Learn from them. Some of them are knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alim. So we learn. Some of them is forgiveness. Some of them is power and energy. Qudratullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of them is intelligence. Some of them is kindness, patience. These are divine attributes. And God has given them to insan. Why? Because insan, human, mankind, are in relationship to God are what? In second chapter in Surah Al-Baqarah, قَالَ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ Khalifa, you are my vicegerent, you are my representative. So learn from me. And the representative, the ambassador of God, has to be in the best of physical, mental, and spiritual shape. Anbiya'ullah, they were different in their sizes and in their shapes. But their soul was perfect. The soul was perfect. So while we take care of the bodies, we have to put more emphasis on the soul, on the spirit. Because at the end of the day, what is going to take us into the right side or the left side, the right direction or the left direction, is the nafs. وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. Because sometimes you don't have control over your body, your physical shape. You don't have control over it. But you can have control over your spiritual shape and a spiritual formation, definitely, because you have a free will. And you can control your spiritual direction. You can control it. يا خادم الجسم كم تشقى بخدمته. The sha'ir, the Arab poet, says, how much you put money and effort on your body, on your physical structure. How much you spend. Whereas this one, لِتَبْتَغِ الرِّبْحِ مِمَّا فِيهِ خُسْرَانُ. You are trying to make gain of something which is lost, which is going to be lost, which is going to be buried, which is going to be disintegrated into what? Into dirt. This body is not going to stay forever, believe me. Sometimes they excavate some graves. After 1 year, only 1 year, there is nothing but destroyed and disintegrated bones. After 1 year, not that much. لِتَبْتَغِ الرِّبْحَ مِمَّا فِيهِ خُسْرَانُ. You are seeking to make a profit of something which is always in loss. أقبل على النفس واستكمل فضائلها فأنت بالروح لا بالجسم إنسان. Take care of your soul, because you are insan not because only of your body, but definitely because of your soul. And this is what the Holy Quran says. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ. Then we cast him to the lowest of the low, to the lowest of the أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. To the lowest of, and there are two interpretations for this. The first interpretation, أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ, is when we regress in our physical ability, our physical power is going to be diminished. Look at some elderly people now. Look at them. In your family you may have some people. Some of them act like children, like 5 years old, 3 years old children. And this is a theory in the Quran. وَمَن نُعَمِّرْهُ. The more we give you life, نُنَكِّسْهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ. نُنَكِّسْهُ, he's going to regress. His mental capacity would regress. His physical capacity would regress. He needs help to move. He needs help to eat. He needs help to clean himself, to go to the bathroom. This is نُنَكِّسْهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ. So this is one interpretation. The second, أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ, means on the day of judgment. God says those who did not do well, who did not care about their soul, about their spiritual qualities, they crushed their spiritual gifts that God has given them, they're going to be the lowest of the low on the day of judgment. أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. God says in chapter 2, some of them are even lower than what? Huh? إِنْهُمْ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ lower than animals. Because we have given you so much power, so much potential, so much gifts, you neglected them. You didn't make use of them. Rather than building yourself, building your family, your community, you destroyed yourself and you destroyed people who live around you. So you deserve to be أسفل سافلين. But then the Quran says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Always we have Iman is to have a strong spirit, strong connection to God. This is Iman. وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ is the result of your Iman. When you have a strong spirit, definitely your deeds are going to be strong. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. نحمده ونسبحه ونقدسه ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك وترحم على محمد وآل محمد كأفضل ما صليت وسلمت وباركت وترحمت على إبراهيم وآل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. وصل اللهم وسلم على خلفاء نبيك وأوصيائه وأهل بيته وأحبته علي أمير المؤمنين وقائد الغر المحجلين وعلى البضعة الطاهرة فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين وعلى سبطي نبي الرحمة وسيدي شباب أهل الجنة الحسن والحسين عليهما السلام وعلى علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والخلف الهادي المهدي عجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل مخرجه. عباد الله أيها المؤمنون، أوصيكم وأوصي نفسي بتقوى الله ولزوم أمره. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: الذين صبروا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. Many people in our society, in the Western society, are worried about their future and their children, especially when it comes to sustenance and provision and risk. Some of them cannot sleep the nights because they are thinking of how can I afford paying my bills? How can I afford paying my rent, raising my children, protecting my children, providing them with food, with education? This is what keeps many people awake. And this, of course, would affect their health. Many of them, they are not healthy. They don't feel healthy. They are always weak, depressed, sad, worried, anxious. Of course, we cannot solve people's financial problems, but we can encourage and we can remind, فذكر, and we can tell people what God is promising us. The hadith of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam leads us into a way that at least, I'm not saying we are not going to be worried completely, but at least it brings some assurances and certainties and help. The hadith says, كن بما في يد الله سبحانه وتعالى أوثق بما في يدك. Have more trust in what God has reserved for you than what you have reserved for your own self. Sometimes people save money. You ask him, why do you save money? He says, for the day of, rainy day, yes. In Farsi, baray ruza maboda. In Arabic, mashallah, many expressions. When they want to save, they have many, Which is good. It's not bad. It's not bad. But the hadith is saying, have more trust in what God has saved for you. What God has reserved for you. What God has kept in the box for you than what you have reserved and saved for yourself. Have a trust in God. I spoke about trust last night. Tawakkul. Tawakkul. Tawakkul is to trust God more than I trust myself. Because sometimes I might lose, but God does not lose. And God will send. At the time of emergency, God will send you and send your family. God says for those who are worried about marriage, they don't get married. When you ask people about why not married, he says, I don't have job, I don't have income. I don't have a place to shelter my wife. But God says in the Quran, when you get married with the right person, for the right reason, we will send you. نحن نرزقكم وإياهم وأنكحوا الأيام منكم. Encourage the marriage among your children, those who are single. وأنكحوا الأيام منكم والصالحين من عبادكم وإمائكم إن يكونوا فقراء. If they fear poverty, يغنيهم الله من فضله والله واسع عليم. God will send from His reserve. America has a reserve of oil and money and gold. But that reserve is going to end. Because God says in the Quran, مَا عِنْدَكُمْ يَنْفَدْ وَمَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ بَاقٍ. Your reserve is going to be diminished one day. But the reserve of God, baq, continuous. Put your trust. Put your trust. If you are not a lazy person, the disease of today is people are lazy. They don't work, they don't study. They want God to send them the check every month for no return. They do nothing, sit at home, and God will send them the money. God does not do that. God's social security does not accept laziness. He has a social security system. But when we are working hard, when we are active, when you leave your home in early morning and go to work and say, I put my tawakkul, my trust, my faith in God, God is going to send you. You are not going to remain hungry. As long as you do your job. My friends, in this life is based on two responsibilities and two roles. One of them is my role as a servant. God says you have a role. If you are a father, you have to take care of your family. You have to work. If you are a teacher, if you are a farmer, if you are a worker, then you have to work and serve. The second type of responsibility belongs to Him. He says, you do the first part, I'll do the second part for you. I'll take care of you. Don't worry. Promise me you do the first part. But the problem, we don't do the first part. We are delinquent. We are delinquent. We are dependent. We are lazy. We don't do the first part. So when we don't do the first part, the second part is not going to work. In this life, remember, you have a role and responsibility, and God has a role and responsibility. Begin with your own role. If you are a student, many people ask me during the finals, many say, pray for us. I say, I pray for you, provided that you study. If you don't study, I'm not going to waste my time, because God is not going to listen to my prayers. He's not going to listen. So I'm not going to waste my time. You study, I pray for you. It works. Your role and God's role. So put your trust in God. As long as you are a hardworking person, sincere and dedicated, God is not going to let you down. Two stories from our time. I saw these two stories. Someone who puts his trust in his wealth. He took a pride in the empire that he built, and he had no trust in God. And he did many foolish things. He ended up in jail. He was indicted. He ended up in jail. He had billions of dollars in a property. He lost his money, and then in the jail he committed suicide. Many of you know his name. I'm not going to mention his name. A few months ago, in the state of New York. He was very rich, but he did not put his trust in God. He puts his trust in his wealth, in his money. He thought that if I know the president, this minister, that secretary, they're going to protect me. So this is one example of someone who did not put his trust in God. He put his trust in his wealth, in his talent, in his relationships. The other one is someone who really puts his trust in God and he starts a project from nothing, penniless. A man who really, I can tell you, he was penniless. His wealth and his asset was what? Was not the money and the dollars. It was the belief in God and the trust in God. He trusted God. He puts his tawakkul, but at the same time he was working. He was not lazy. He was working to build this project from nothing, from zero money. And he succeeded. One day I asked him, why do you have to pray Salatul Layl every night? You may rest. He said, because it is in Salatul Layl I can find my way in this life. It is in communication with God and talking to Him I am successful in my projects. I need God. I need Him. If you find me someone else to help me, I'm not going to do Salatul Layl. Find me someone else. So he speaks to God because he believes. He communicates. His connection is truly with God. Truly with God. And God helped him. So when you put your trust in God, don't worry. Don't worry about your future. If you are not doing something illegal, something wrong, if you are not stealing money, then put your trust in God and don't worry about your bills. For those who came late, I started with this sentence. Many people do not sleep the nights because they tell me, Said, I'm worried about my bills. I can't afford. I'm worried what will happen if I die, how my children are going to survive. I tell them, if you die, God is not going to die. Sometimes God finds you as an agent to support your family, and sometimes God finds someone else. So the supplier does not die. The supplier does not shut down. Have faith in God and put your trust in God. My friends, in this mosque we have wonderful people who are helping the poor and the needy in our community in Orange County. So they have this project of a blanket drive, socks, blanket, and scarves during the winter season. One of them is a brother Human is sitting on this side. Some of the sisters, Sister Najat and Tanweer and others, I might not mention all the names, but I know them, I trust them. So if you can provide them with these blankets and socks and scarves, provided that they are new. If not, you can give them the money, $20, $30, $50. They will spend it for the right cause, inshallah. They are very dedicated. They leave their families, their jobs. They go on Saturday to the poor area in Orange County to lend their hands to those who are marginalized and forgotten. And when you help someone on this earth, there is someone there is going to help you and support you. Remember this. Remember this. When you pay sadaqah to someone, then there is someone there who is going to take care of your affairs. Irham man fil ard, yarhamka man fil sama. Allahumma aghfir lil mu'minina wal mu'minat. Tomorrow I am heading to the Atabat, inshallah, and I'm going to remember you in my du'as in the holy shrines, all of you, my brothers and sisters, inshallah. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات اللهم من على مرضانا بالشفاء والعافية المرضى المنظورين اللهم ألبسهم ثوب الصحة والعافية وعجل في فرج سيدنا ومولانا وإمامنا صاحب العصر والزمان وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد